Now, what I'm about to share with you has led to literally countless hours of exquisite lovemaking and a deeper emotional bond and appreciation between my partner and me. It is so ridiculously simple that it's probably the reason many couples have never even considered it as an intimate ritual that could make such a huge difference. Now, I say this because we only stumbled upon it after a particularly playful episode one evening together. Since then, it has become such a powerful component of our relationship that we use it every single time we are together. Now, I suspect that most couples have experienced the lust-laced, frantic ripping of each other's clothes off in the moment of unbridled passion. Yes, it's exciting, breathtaking, actually quite literally, and usually very short-lived, as is the coitus that typically follows. This is a phase that eventually succumbs to a more, subdued process of self-disrobing before any of the exciting stuff happens. Part of what drives this frenzied first stage of sexual entanglement is the novelty of exploring each other as new lovers, where expectation and arousal combine into a highly combustible mixture of erotic adventure, discovery, and explosive release, which can be incredibly exciting while it lasts. However, because its very foundation is based upon the newness of the relationship, it will eventually fade. My partner and I have been together for quite some time now and enjoy an extraordinary intimate life that only gets better over time. This is a significant fact because most couples will likely admit that their initial honeymoon period represented the most exciting phase of their physical relationship. One of the reasons that ours continues to achieve new heights of passion and pleasurable fulfillment is that we are constantly exploring what is possible. And we are always listening to our sensual intuition in this regard. One intimate ritual we discovered quite by accident and in the spirit of playfulness is the way we undress each other. We do this before we make love, before we take a shower together, before retiring to bed with no thought of sex, and as we change our clothes before we go out on the town. In other words, anytime it's required that we need to get naked for any reason whatsoever, we follow this ritual. And the payoff has been and continues to be enormous for the health and mutual enjoyment of our overall relationship. We make a point of always being fully present anytime we do anything together. This means ridding our minds of distraction, agendas, goals, expectations, and simply being there for each other in the moment, the now. It is within this very sensually fertile environment that we conduct our mutual disrobing ritual. Now, we usually start out facing each other practically nose to nose as we gaze into each other's eyes in acknowledgement of our mutual love and appreciation. Then we typically start lightly stroking each other's fully clothed bodies as if our hands needed to first, get a lay of the land, so to speak, on what should come off first. Where we start really doesn't matter. What does make a difference, however, is that we slowly and sensually undress each other while in this state of full presence. We find that when we remove a piece of the other's clothing, which often happens simultaneously, and do it very slowly, it builds an enormous amount of sensual energy between us. Just the feel of a blouse or shirt slowly lifting off and lightly rubbing our skin as our partner does it with full intention while they look longingly at what is being slowly revealed can be almost overwhelmingly powerful. And that's a potential trap if you're not careful or being fully present. That's because this heightened state of arousal can easily devolve into the more frantic shedding, which will definitely break the spell. Once the first of our garments are removed, we typically take a while to lightly caress and kiss each other in the exposed areas. This is accompanied by soft, gentle kissing where our lips are barely touching, yet megawatts of sensual energy is passing between them. Then we continue the process of slow, thoughtful, mutual undressing and caressing and kissing until we are standing together, fully nude. Now, a very, very sexy variation of this that we often apply is when we look in a large mirror observing each other doing this. In these instances, our caressing is often more overtly sexually explorative and designed to ignite our sensual imaginations. Now, granted, not every couple may want to see each other naked in the glaring light of a brightly lit room, or in front of a mirror for that matter. If this is the case, then consider turning down the lights or even off. Use your imagination, hands, and lips as the tools of exploration as you go through this mutual undressing ritual. In either case, lights on or off, you will find this to be a deeply connecting experience that keeps things very fresh and juicy. Of course, this practically begs the question as to why a couple would bother with this ritual if they have no intention of following it up with sex. And my answer to that is, why not? Consider this for a moment. If you and your partner could do something every time you're together that resulted in rekindling passion, desire, love, and appreciation for each other, why wouldn't you? I think women in particular appreciate this kind of sensual gift that doesn't always have to lead to sex. And guys, this is an important point. It is not uncommon for women to even hesitate kissing a long-term partner for fear that he may get the idea she wants sex, when in fact, she just wants to express love and affection. So imagine the impact to your relationship, no matter how many years you've been together, if you were to include this ritual, even for reasons that did not always end up as a romp in the sack. By doing so, you build an enormous bank account of trust and appreciation within your partner. And you are both likely to enjoy each other far more when you do have physical intimacy. Trust me, that buildup of sensual energy lasts a long time. Now granted, this can be difficult to practice if you're always in a hurry. And if that's the case, just plan ahead to set aside the time to do it right. So here's my challenge to you and your partner. Incorporate this ritual for the next 7 days anytime you're both together and your clothes have to come off for any reason whatsoever. And just remember, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And believe me, there is a whole world of intimate adventure to be gained just waiting for both of you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Extraordinary Intimacy with Michael J. Russell. For all speaking, media interviews, and workshop inquiries, go to michaelrusselllive.com. For private intimacy coaching, send an email to coaching@michaelrusselllive.com.